Upon reading the title, you must be wondering, what is it? I want to know what it is. Well, surprise, surprise, it is my annual shoot a movie during the Oscars event. For 5 years now, this will be the 5th year running, I have been shooting a movie during the Oscars. This isn't a short film, it is a feature-length movie. It's the craziest film challenge ever devised, and for the last 4 years of it, this will be the 4th year running, I've challenged my audience and anyone who wants to join to shoot their own movie. And I think at this point we've had over 1,000 movies shot during the Oscars. It's kind of insane. There's playlists from the past 3 years, and last year I announced that I'm going to stop the awards component. There used to be an awards at the end of it where I would give out awards to some of the highlights, and I haven't sent out the ones from the previous year. So if you won last year, they'll be sent out eventually. They're not even made yet. We'll catch up. But anyways, I got rid of the awards component because this is such a fast and fun challenge, and all this added for me was it made it a stressful thing that lingered on my mind throughout the year rather than what it should be, which is just a fun, fast-paced week of pure filmmaking. And yeah, this just made it something on my mind because I knew I had to watch a bunch of them. I knew I had to do an awards show. It just added a component to it that felt like the antithesis of the joy, the unbridled joy of creating in this way. And I've talked about this so many times, and I sometimes wonder, like, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? And I very well might, because I just adore this format. It's a format that is infinitely explorable. You know, it sounds insane. It's the craziest limitations you could think of, like 3.5 hours to shoot a feature-length movie, a feature-length being 40 minutes and up. It's unheard of, it doesn't make sense, and that's why it's so exciting, because everyone who does this year after year, you see them like push it and experiment with it. Like there's people who have done it every year. My friend Dan has done it 4 years running, and he's always pushing it new directions, and he's made some fantastic films in this format, and so many people have made fantastic films in this format. And you know, you strip back all the excess of filmmaking, all the overthinking, all the pre-production, all this stuff that makes filmmaking take as long and be as expensive and be as belabored as it can be. You strip that all away and you boil it down to the basics, and you're just having fun. You're just experimenting. There's no pressure of quality. There's no pressure of this thing needs to be something in my career. You know, we often think of our next feature as it always needs to be building on. It always needs to be this next stepping stone that'll take me somewhere. But if you let go of that, you let yourself go to such an open creativity. And every year I've had so much fun experimenting with this. The first year we had people call in and did a simple smash and bash job gone wrong, which was just me and Trent and a bunch of viewers on a webcam pretending they were actors in the scene and being actors in the scene. And that was such a fun format. That one holds up really well. Then I did the next year, the Wolf, the Bad Guy, and the Surprise Party, which was just me and like a ton of my friends here in Los Angeles getting together and improvising and finding a nonsense story with no preparation. And I think that's a really fun angle on this. You could decide to have as much or as little preparation as you want, because the only rule is you have to shoot the entirety of your movie during the Oscars. You could prepare for it. You could go in blind. You could, people have prepared like animated characters that they then puppeteer in real time. People really get inventive with this. And the following year I did Things Could Always Be Worse, which was me and Trent alone in a room. I did that big 20-something person cast movie, and I'm like, okay, I want to like strip this down to the basics. And in some ways, I think that's one of the stronger films I've done during this contest because it's so simple. It's just me and Trent talking. And it wound up inspiring a little film about friendship, which is sort of a spiritual sequel we did last year. But it was just me and Trent stuck in this here room, and I think it's a very sweet, funny movie about just me and Trent's friendship and being authentic. And a little cheat code we used there was dual cameras. We shot on 2 cameras at once, so we didn't have to like run each scene multiple times, and instead we could just actively improvise it and accept what we got and move on. And I think that was a very strong format. And lastly, I did the text last year as part of my 12 movie challenge. And the text is this one-take movie that we spent a weekend preparing. And I do think I've fallen in love with the one-take format. Partially inspired by some people from previous years. Syrian Williams did a one take, and Dan Lotz did a one take, and I think it's a very logical format for this contest. It makes sense because it's like, okay, you could prepare a bunch and you're still shooting the movie during the Oscars, but like a one take movie would only take a couple hours to shoot anyways because it would all be pre-production. So I think it just makes a lot of sense as a format, and I want to explore that more, and I'm excited. I have some cool ideas for this year. I don't want to spoil anything, but I do have some leftover money, I think. I still haven't run the exact math on how much I spent on the movies last year, but I raised a good amount, and I want to just keep pouring it into art projects. So I am going to allow myself to spend some money on this year's Oscar movie to make it special again. And not that money at all is a component that is needed to make something special, but I think you'll see once I release the movie what I'm talking about. But yeah, I encourage everyone to do this. I love every year that we've gotten like at least 100 movies. Like, that's crazy. I'd love to see that number stay in that ballpark because it's cool that this has become a tradition for people. It really is just something I look forward to every year. It's so simple. It's just a week of your life essentially, because you shoot it in 3 hours and it has to be done in a week. I think that done in a week component makes you get it done. It makes you edit it. It's funny, there are some people who months later are still sending me their Oscar movies because they like got really in the weeds on the editing or just didn't get it done in time. But I do encourage people to hold themselves to that. So I will say this Sunday, March 2nd, shoot a movie during the Oscars, 4 to like 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m. PST is the Oscars. EST is 7 to whatever, 11 p.m. And yeah, just shoot it during the Oscars. There are little caveats. It's like if you live in a country where that'd be the middle of the night, just set a 3-hour timer any time of day and shoot it then instead. Like, I don't want to be such a stickler to the people who live in Europe or Australia or anywhere. And yeah, you could shoot it whenever you want, set a 3-hour timer, and don't watch the Oscars. I guess if this is a successful protest in any way, we should at least adhere to that, But even then, I'm not so strict. It's more about the joy of it. It's more about just making something. But yeah, March 2nd, shoot a movie during the Oscars, and then within the week, by the following Sunday, March 9th, have that movie sent to this email. Same email I use every year. Send your movie there, and I'll add it to the playlist, the Oscars 2025 or 2024 playlist. I think I consider it 2025, yeah. All right, I love you guys. I look forward to sharing with you the movie I make. I look forward to seeing other people do this. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. I love movies. Bye-bye.